Good evening and welcome to Talking Point. I'm your host, Dr. Corey Wright, coming to you live from the studios of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation in Accra. We come to you live this and every Sunday with issues of national concern, and we engage you in discussions for informed decision making. We're also streaming live on GBC Ghana Online, on Facebook at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, and as always, we welcome those listening to us on Unique 95.7. Last week, the President delivered the State of the Nation address in Parliament. In the studio tonight are two members of Parliament who are going to help us better understand and probe the President's address. We encourage you to join in the discussion by sending your messages during the show to our WhatsApp number 055-744-6429. With me for tonight's discussion from my immediate left is Honorable Roxanne Nelson Dafamiekpo. He's the MP for South Day. Welcome.
Thank you.
And on my far left is Honorable Davis. It's been a while. Welcome. A warm welcome.
Thank
on
you.
my far left is Honorable Davis Ansel Poku. He's the MP for Mprai. So welcome to your first guest appearance here with me as the host. So
thank you.
We're glad to have you.
I think it's quite refreshing. Growing up as a child, one of the programs that your parents will be looking forward to was Talking Point. Here I am today.
Here you are today.
I sit on, with my good friend, Roxanne Dafamiekpo.
Okay, so let's start with the President's address. Honorable Dafamiekpo, if I can start with you. So he addressed Parliament on 30th March.
Yes.
And we'll get into the details, but generally, did he touch on some of the things that you anticipated or expected him to?
Doc, thank you. I just returned from the constituency.
Oh.
You know, these days at the end of the month, it's a funeral packed end of the month for every MP. So let me use the opportunity to once more say good evening to my people in Peki, Bali, Kwevetambo. No, because we were hoping that those of us in the minority were hoping that he would take the opportunity to speak to the relationship between WAEC and our BEC candidate, you know, which is a matter of currency. We were hoping that he would speak to the issue between, recall the 499, the famous 499 law students who passed but didn't pass, but somehow eventually they passed. That the President would have spoken to such matters. Then the President would have spoken to the number of the hospitals that he promised to build. Nobody is saying that he should build all the 111 at a go, but how many are being tackled?
I think he touched on that, though.
Oh, no. If you check,
he said the work has started on 87 out of the 111 sites, and he has been assured that preliminary work on the remaining 24 sites is ongoing. So that's the.
You see, if we put that. You know, there's something we call in law, there's something we call street proof. If we put the President to street proof, Doc, in December 2020, the same President told us that he had committed 600 million to working on the hospitals towards 2021. You know, in April 2020, he gave this promise. So in December 2020, he said that he has set aside 600 million towards Agenda 111. Then the 2021 budget was read, and there was no provision for Agenda 111. So when we questioned him, then they came back in 2021 mid-year review to say that the 600 million that they spoke about in December 2020 was actually to secure other things towards taking on with Agenda 2021. in the mid-year review in
Agenda
2021.
111.
Agenda 111. So we left him to do whatever he wanted to do. So he came to my constituency, for instance, in South Dine. So we got the land, the initial land area that we got didn't meet the expectations, so we moved them to another area which met their expectations. So the long and short is that as we speak, in April 2022, nothing has been done.
Okay.
All right, so that's what we speak of.
Okay.
Then the other issue is about education. If we consider education and the number of infrastructure that they are supposed to put in place towards formalizing and actualizing the free SHS, I just returned. I have 4 secondary schools in my constituency, plus 1 technical and vocational TVET. TVET, there's improvement that I have to admit. But in respect of the secondary schools, a lot of projects are still in a state of abandonment. Now, we'll leave education and go to
so I wanted a general overview. I'll go into the details of his presentation.
I'm giving you a general overview.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yes.
I
just wanted to just maybe
no, because we have only 1 hour.
Yes,
we have only 1 hour, so I won't waste time.
Okay.
Okay.
So
I want to deal with the issues as you pose them. Rose, Doc, I'm a very well-traveled politician in this country. I know every region inside out. If you enter the Volta region, we have arterial roads from Dabala to Angoga to Keta, then Dabala to Aflau, then Dabala to Ho, and all that. When you leave that, in the eastern region, we have Akosombo through Kwong, Somanya to Koforidra through Edukro. Or when you get to Somanya, you can go through Otekpolu and go through Nankesi, all right, and get to Koforidra. You can get through Edukrom and get to Kropon and all that. But all that we are saying is that the 10,885 kilometers that the president spoke of has been new routes that they constructed. Doc, I am a servant of this nation. I know every region inside out. I can sit here and recite all the arterial routes to you.
Okay.
I haven't seen new routes.
Okay. I have a specific question about this, so I want us to hold on until we get there. So let me conclude by saying, I was hoping the president would touch on legal education, because the president himself is a lawyer. He takes legal education very seriously. That, for instance, in a year that out of thousands of students, we woke up one day and realized that some students wrote exams to enter the law school, and then 499 couldn't get opportunity to enter. So this became topical. Okay.
Topical in the sense that topical in the sense that.
So we have to.
Yes. No. I'm trying to wrap up. Topical in the sense that some persons didn't pass the exams, didn't pass the interview, but they were admitted.
Okay.
And it took director of legal education for himself to admit it under and under CI 47 we call it order 23 admissions. That is order 23 issues. That's
okay.
Okay. These are very serious matters.
They are. Okay, Honorable Opoku. So just again generally, because like I said, we'll go into all the details.
Yes, just like my brother Roxin, I've just also returned from the constituency where I engage in several functions, including funerals. And in my interaction with my constituents, I got one thing very clear from the president's engagement last week, that they saw in a president who was sincere. They saw in a president who was very frank with the issues that confront us as a nation. They saw in a president who had come to realities with the difficulties that Ghanaians find ourselves. We live in a country where everything was gradually, getting better until 2019 when COVID got to everyone. The effect of COVID, post-COVID, on our economy, on everything that we do, has been devastating. I come from a constituency where many of my constituents engage in trading. Most of our women, some in Okanshi, some in Mokola, some in Kantamanto, would travel from Ghana to Nigeria to be able to buy goods to come and sell on the market. Due to COVID, most of these borders, land borders, were closed. They really did not have what it takes to travel to China and the big markets. And even those who were traveling to China had some huge restrictions on their movements. So certainly every sphere of our economy got affected. In healthcare delivery, things that we're not expecting to be done. COVID struck, we had to find money to go get vaccines. We needed to provide PPEs for schools and individuals. In the areas of education, free SHS, which is government's flagship program, had to be sustained. In employment, government workers who at a point were at home and virtually doing nothing or working from home still needed to be paid. But the shortfall in revenue generation was also very, very huge. We had close to about 20 billion shortage, which government needed to have found a way to address these concerns. So this was a president that appeared before Parliament and told us the realities that we have faced as a country, and also delivered to Ghanaians measures that he has taken as a president and his government to get us out of it. So in the areas of healthcare, he announced that very soon Ghana will start the production of vaccines, and measures have been put in place to ensure that we begin to develop our own vaccines. And it's all in the spirit of Ghana Beyond Aid and how we are able to cater for ourselves as a country. Because if for nothing at all, COVID-19 taught us one big lesson, that it's about time that we began to look after ourselves. In the areas of trade, the government still maintained a good posture in trying to support the one district, one factory. In my constituency, whilst COVID was having an effect, a toll on us, government was still constructing under the Rural Enterprises Project, a one district, one factory. Government was still constructing a business resource center in my constituency. When in areas of education, like I mentioned, TVET, just like my brother admitted, has been one of the areas where government's focus has been highlighted. Today, virtually every IC school under the Labour Ministry is being absorbed onto TVET. A private school in my constituency has been absorbed under TVET, which will be catering for vocational and training institutes and all of that.
Okay.
In areas of infrastructure, today we've seen roads. And it is very clear.
So I think that...
Please. I thought we agreed that there will not be heckling.
Yes.
And I would always speak using my constituency. Today, if you were to come to my constituency, the people of Fodua, the people of Besiansi, the people of Praso, up to Onyemso and its environs, would admit that government is constructing roads. Get to Fomanso, go to Inframa and all of these places. They've seen the black gold, the quota is on the roads, and people are happy about it. Just today, when I was returning from constituency, in the newly constructed areas in my constituency, in Praso, the capital, we've seen town roads seeing quota for the first time in the history of our constituency. So clearly, government, despite the difficulties that we faced as a people, still maintain a very positive posture, a fatherly posture.
Okay.
That clearly showed that, yes, we are in difficulties, but I sincerely need to look after my people.
Okay.
And they did that. And for me, that is the forthrightness of the president that caught the admiration of my constituents and Ghanaians. And I think the president has done a good job.
Okay, so I wanted us to
can I rebut?
Before you can let me, you can rebut in the question I asked you. You can add it. No, please, let's go on. I understand that we are already close to 10, so let's go ahead and
Doc, let me rebut. I'm not.
You know, what the problem is that there are things that
I agree, but it says specific things.
Yeah, but you okay? Go ahead, very quickly.
I know
briefly.
his constituency inside out. Doc, there's no way that he could say that from Impraiso to Bipon, Asaka, Esikim, Tafo, Inteso, Bukrua, Pepiase, back to Etibie, Inkwetia, to Impraiso, Obome,
and you claim you know my constituency.
No, Sheshe.
I mean, Sheshe is not in my constituency.
No, Sheshe
is not in my constituency.
Bukura
is not in my constituency.
Bukura is not in my constituency. That is our front plains.
I think that we establish some ground rules.
OPK.
Let's stick to it.
OPK.
All right.
I speak of the Kwao people.
Okay.
So the Kwao may be divided into Afram Plains South and Kwao.
Yes.
Kwao East.
Kwao East, Kwao South, Kwao West.
Exactly. But
and what specifically are you addressing?
No. But
are you saying that?
No, my issue is that. My issue is that places like Chinrasi, Abene, Sheshe, all those places.
The roads are bad.
The roads are very bad.
Okay. All right.
From Tafo to Bukrua is very bad.
Okay.
Tafo to Kutusu is very bad. Tafo to Intesu is very bad. Tafo to Oframasi is very bad.
Okay.
It's quite interesting that another member of Parliament.
Can we, the issue is that if we stay on
let's go
roads, what I wanted to ask Honorable now is that, I wanted to unpack agriculture. There's a lot in there. We talk about government's plan for vegetable and rice cultivation.
Exactly.
There's a maize production. There's the construction of warehouses that was supposed to help show up food production chain.
Yes.
And then there was also some information that he gave about the gains in the cocoa area, and then also the successes from the Planting for Food and Jobs program. So I wanted to ask, what did you glean in terms of government's direction when it comes to agriculture?
Thank you very much. A year ago, we were buying government subsidized fertilizer. For 80 cities. 80 cities a year ago, because you see, I bought some for my constituents. In fact, they organized themselves into groups, so I knew how much I paid. 12 months down the line, we are paying 440 cities. 440 from 80 Ghana cities. I don't even know. I'm struggling to even calculate the percentum in terms of increment. So it's not as simple as that. When you come to my constituency, which is South Dine, the agrarian communities are in Agbate, Udome, Ajokwe, Todome, Befe itself, which is the district capital, but it's agrarian. Then Jake, then you have Udome. Then you have Sanga, then you have Anyinsu, then you have Chame, then you have Blengo, then you have all the other communities combined. Then you have Agbate, which is like the heart of all the agrarian activities in South Dine.
And they are not doing well.
No, we are not doing well because fertilizer is so costly.
Okay.
And yesterday I heard the minister on TV. And he said that it's not everything in Ghana that it's not every food crop, the cultivation every food crop that attracts fertilizer. So he gave examples that apart from maize, apart from sorghum, apart from maybe a few other things, all the other things like cocoyam, yam itself, all the other things, we don't need fertilizer. I agree. But he's forgotten that 80% of the people now rely on sorghum and maize. So when you deny the people fertilizer, you are denying about 80% of the people access to cereal, which is corn, which is maize, which is millet. So I'm struggling to appreciate the thinking of the Minister of Agriculture that yes, as a people, we don't rely so much on sorghum and maize, but and therefore shortage of fertilizer shouldn't be a problem. Right. It has to be a problem for us.
All right.
Okay? Because in Southern, when you come, my people in Southern, 80% of them are agrarian.
Okay.
20% of them are fishermen. I can get them the Admo motors. I can get them the net to go and fish. But when they go and fish and come back, in fact, the people who have gone to catch the bigger fish and come back, they will need maize to be able to cook.
To eat the fish with.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for saying this simply for me.
No problem. Honorable, what about you? You know, like I said, there's a lot to unpack in there in terms of some of the gains the president talked about.
I feel that the government of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has clearly shown huge commitments, I mean, when it comes to agriculture. One of his flagship programs, Planting for Food and Jobs, for me has been one of the successes that the president has struck under his tenure. Clearly, there are difficulties, especially with fertilizer production and all of that. And the reasons are known to everybody. If you want to know about the...
don't tell me.
If you want to know about the challenges, they are there. For instance, in the production of fertilizer, the base material that is used mainly comes from Ukraine, Russia, and Belarus. These are the three countries that it comes from. Today, we all know what we are facing as a people. I mean, the Ukraine-Russia war, the economic impact of it on global economies is quite worrying. And that is why everybody is saying that the war must end. So if you were buying fertilizer for 80 cedis, and granted that today it is being sold for 400 cedis, these are simple economic, I mean, once there is shortage, people certainly would want to take advantage of the system. People will be holding what they have. And even Cocoa Board has warned that we need to find alternatives because there may be shortages. Yeah. So those are the challenges in the sector. But when it comes to vegetable production, I think government has committed hugely in the areas of vegetable production. Today, the establishment of greenhouse across the globe, across the country is quite gratifying. I mean, if you were to go to Pong, if you were to go to Dowenya, if you were to go to, I mean, in Accra, in most places, greenhouse farms are being established for our young people. And it's a means of trying to make the place attractive to young people. I have friends, I mean, people like Boama and Co, who have been beneficiaries of this government's initiative. And I think that it's important for us to highlight the successes of government.
So you mentioned the green technology, so yes. I just wanted to ask about that, because one of the things he talked about was that the training of 537 youth in the production of high-value vegetables using greenhouse technology. And he said 190 of them have been on an 11-month internship in Israel, and they are back. What are we expecting from them?
Well, you see, the greenhouse technology is quite an interesting mechanism. I mean, it's a usage of a very short space to produce large volumes of vegetables. Okay. So, for instance, I know that aside the 190 young men who were taken to Israel, under the Ghana Exim Bank arrangement, some young people were trained in Brekusu, where I happen to have been part of the entire process. I mean, some constituents of mine were involved in the process. So I know that week in, week out, young people get trained
Okay.
under government's own initiative. Today, if you are to go to Ghana Enterprises Agency, if you are to go to the agency that John Kuma headed, I mean, NYA or Y, this young entrepreneurship program, they are providing funding, providing support. They are building the infrastructure for young people to take advantage of the greenhouse technology. And I tell you,
okay, all right.
Ghana imports a lot of vegetables into our system, and if we are able to continually invest in this sector, especially in the greenhouse, we'll be able to end the importation of vegetables into our country.
Okay, so
the president touched on the cocoa production.
Yes, I'll talk specifically about the cocoa in a few minutes, because I wanted to talk about the living income differential and all that. But let me ask, when you talked about imports, I just remembered about the assembly of companies that are assembling vehicles in Ghana, and he talked about Ghana, not only for Ghana but the West African market, Toyota, Suzuki, Nissan, Peugeot, and then of course he talked about Katanka. And he linked that with the moratorium that we now have on imported vehicles, hoping that now that that moratorium is there, that we will be able to give priority to locally assembled vehicles. What did you think of that part of his presentation?
I've appeared on your program so many times.
Yes.
And I have so much respect for you.
Okay.
So much respect.
Okay.
This government has called a moratorium on even ministers taking official vehicles to functions. Do you recall that? Do you recall that there was a time that all of them took a bus to a function and took a photograph and told us that they won't use their V8s? Recall? Do you recall that in 2020 when COVID struck, they said there will not be official travels? Do you recall that?
Yeah,
No, nobody said that.
Oh,
no,
OPK.
OPK, please. So can you say this?
OPK.
Can you
you have a tablet in front of you. Just Google it.
Let him respond. He respond when
OPK.
Honorable Nelson. Let's have a conversation.
Do you recall that this government said that even purchase of official vehicles, they will not? They came to Parliament to say that. Yes. OPK, just Google Ghana government not buying vehicles. You see the news item. They came to Parliament to say that they were not buying official vehicles until further notice. They came to Parliament to say that they were not traveling officially until further notice. They came to Parliament to say that they are ministers of state who use official vehicles, and that they will use buses, and that official travel has been banned until further notice. You see, it is not the news that bothers me.
The implementation.
It is about the whimsical nature of it. Because you see, when we're told that they will not travel, the president kept traveling, the ministers kept traveling, chief directors kept traveling. Then, when they say they won't use official vehicles, in fact, that was the year that they bought more V8s.
You are sitting on national television.
Oh yes, exactly. That's why I've told you that Google the information.
I don't need to Google. I'm not.
Oh no, OPK.
So
I'm saying just Google. I am not here to concoct facts.
So,
I speak to facts. Your president, in fact, there was a time that everybody was put on TV because you were in a bus traveling to a place in the north, in the Brown-Hafo region. All of you.
So what about the assembly of the vehicles, though?
I'll get there.
Okay.
I'm a child of metropolitan Accra. When I was growing up, I knew of New Plan, I knew of Toyota, I knew of Nissan, I knew of Peugeot. All these companies have been with us. I knew of Hyundai. Do you know of Hijazi? Hijazi is the one who brought Hyundai to Accra. All these companies have been with us. they are not manufacturing vehicles, my dear doctor. What they are doing is that they are assembling. Assembly means they'll bring all the parts from wherever they are.
Yeah, there's assembly plants so that they'll.
Why? And you think that Kumasi Suyame can't do that?
No.
Hold on.
I wanted to focus on Kantanka.
Hold on, my dear.
Can I also ask the question? I also wanted to include Kantanka in the mix because
you asked that as part of my composite question, so I will address that. So don't think that I've forgotten that.
Okay.
I'm saying that has the government forgotten that Kantanka has always remained an integral part of this program? If the government can decide that out of the 500 vehicles that we'll buy in a year, we'll buy 100 from Kantanka, that would have been something for this economy. I grew up in Mamobi, Newtown, and Achimota. New Plan is in Achimota. Ask them how many vehicles they got New Plan to assemble. They haven't done that. My dear.
Okay.
Even tractors are assembling in this country. Tractors. So this is not the first time that a vehicle assembling plant, Peugeot, the French will say Peugeot was assembling in this country. So don't let the MPP paint the picture as if this is the first time that Peugeot, Toyota, Nissan, everything is being assembled in this country.
Okay.
I have a Toyota plant in Aboso Okai and I have a Toyota plant in Spinters Road. What are they doing? Okay. For anybody to come to Parliament and say that this is the first time that Toyota is being assembled in Ghana. No.
Okay. So.
No. At all.
Well,
and he's a woman. And I'll be shocked that his people in Aboso Okai, his people in this guy is a quintessential woman.
Yeah. So honorable,
I think they are listening to you, so speak in their favor.
I think that my brother here is failing to appreciate the happenings on the ground. I mean, it is clear, yes. I mean, if you have to go to Aboso Okai, we've had Toyota in Aboso Okai for quite a long time. All they have done is to be engaged in sales and servicing. That is what they have done. Nobody can tell us today that Toyota let me. Nobody can tell me that Toyota brought parts and they were putting it together because they did not have such an assembly plant in Ghana. But you see, the president's Ghana automotive development policy, which clearly wanted to make Ghana the hub for such industry. I mean, for such companies to come, it's been working effectively. I mean, today, Nissan is in Ghana and they are assembling vehicles in Ghana. Toyota is in Ghana, they are assembling vehicles in Ghana. And the jobs that are being created for our young folks, people who have gone to the university to study mechanical engineering and all of that, today are benefiting from such gestures of government. And as members of parliament, we need to show some form of gratitude and support government in that regard. Because I'm not too sure that people who are employed in such sectors are employed based on partisanship. Your constituents can find himself or herself working in Toyota. So we need to be appreciative of that. But whilst doing that, just like my brother mentioned, Kantanka has received massive support from government. In fact, the finance minister of government, Ghana, Honorable Ken Oforiatta, uses a Kantanka vehicle as his official car. I know that under certain ministries in Ghana, there's been deliberate attempt to buy from Kantanka. Go to NHI. Recently, they were to do some purchases and all of that. The chief of staff, through the presidency, instructed that they should be buying from Kantanka. But for me, what this automotive, the springing up of this car manufacturing and assembling companies tells me is that Ghana is preparing itself to take advantage of the AFTA agreement that we all have. Today, clearly, the large markets like Nigeria.
No, hold on. No, Doc, this is very important.
No, let him land.
Doc,
No.
They have not introduced
Honorable.
a single new company that is alien to Ghana. Toyota, Nissan, Hyundai. Every other company has been operating in Ghana.
Thank you very much.
So,
but you
which
see,
company are you introducing?
So now,
No.
If, for instance,
they won't be assembling in Ghana.
If, for instance, Nissan has the capacity to assemble 5,000 vehicles in Ghana, and they are able to export to Togo, if they are able to export
now
to
it's
Nigeria,
not manufacturing, but it's assembly.
Nobody has said that there's been a manufacturing.
But I thought you were talking of manufacturing.
No,
What government?
he said
What
vehicle
government?
manufacturing companies are assembling in Ghana. So there are two things.
No, exactly.
Yeah, vehicle manufacturing companies that are assembling in Ghana.
Exactly. That's what we are saying. That
just stop holding me. I mean, they are not crazy. You're not being fair. You're not being fair to our viewers.
Yeah.
I mean, we have.
OPK.
We have people
which
watching
company
us.
is manufacturing in Ghana?
So for me,
which vehicle company is manufacturing in Ghana?
It's able to manufacture 5,000 cars in Ghana, and even are able to employ 100, 200 young people. It's all part of the job creation that government is doing. But I'm also happy that Kantanka is benefiting from this government initiative. Like I said, I know government agencies and government persons who have taken advantage of the gestures given to. I mean, so don't worry, Roxanne. I mean, Adwa Safo is such a beautiful and brilliant young lady, member of parliament for the good people of Domiko Abenya. If his father is engaged in manufacturing vehicles in our country,
so we'll take a quick break. We'll stop here. We'll take a quick break. This is Talking Points. We are talking about the President's State of the Nation address. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Talking Point. I'm your host, Dr. Corey Enimwright, and tonight our discussion is on the President's State of the Nation address. In the studio with me, on my immediate left, Honorable Roxanne Nelson Dafameko. He's the MP for Sadai.
Dafameko.
I know, pardon me.
No.
Dafameko.
That's right.
And then on my immediate left is Honorable Davis Ansah-Opoku, who is the MP for Impriso. So welcome back to the show. What I wanted to talk about next, and I will start with you, Honorable Opoku, is there is the thought of continuity of government programs. And some of the statements in the President's address, which was very good in terms of continuity, was the connectivity of the national grid, which is something I think I may be wrong, but was started by the late President Rawlings years and years ago in terms of trying to connect the entire country on the national grid. And so he mentioned that we're now at 87% of national connectivity. I wanted to find out what plans do we have in terms of movement, because he talked about the fact that last year we were probably at, I think, 84% and now we're 87%. I want to know the movement we have in terms of reaching close to 90–95%, because these are really critical things for the ordinary Ghanaian.
Well, so in the President's speech, the President highlighted the fact that about 280 communities are today connected to the national grid. And he also indicated that there are plans to connect some more communities, 487, onto the national grid.
So those are smaller communities, it would seem.
Yes. So, for instance, if you were to come to my constituency, I have 24 communities that do not have electricity. As I speak to you, the Ministry of Energy, under the able leadership of Dr. Matthew Poku-Prempeh, have sent a team to my constituency who are currently doing an assessment, what they call it mapping of the various towns, to ensure that and to map up good strategies as to how to connect these communities. So hopefully by the close of this year, by the end of this year, we should be seeing some about 490 to 480 communities connected to the national grid. It helps. I mean, in areas of education, in areas of healthcare delivery, if you do not really have electricity, I think that is the greatest disservice any government can do to any community. Yeah. So I'm happy for the people of Ntomem in my constituency, who for a very long time have had no access to electricity. They ride the same BEC with my kid who is in Accra. They go to the same secondary schools and all of that. And it's important that we extend lights to these communities. I'm sure Roxanne's constituency would also benefit. Ghanaians largely will be benefiting. So we need to be grateful to successive governments for their efforts in ensuring that every community on the map of Ghana is connected to the national grid under the Rural Electrification Program. Yeah. And for me, I commend the President and the Ministry of Energy for the steps boldly taken in ensuring that, especially communities in my constituency, very soon will be able to watch their MP on GTV, on Talking Point. And for me, I'm so excited about that.
All right, Honorable Nelson, what about...
For Chichosri, communities in his constituency, when you get to Bepon, to Asaka, Esikim, which is a very popular market center, they don't have electricity, and he's aware. And I'm hoping that they can extend electricity from Intesu through to Esikim. Hold on. When you get to Tafo, there's a diversion. The road splits into like 4. There's Intesu, there's Adolso, there's Kotosu, there's Bukrua. And he knows. When you get to Bukrua, you go through PPRC and come to Ebitifi. And he's aware that even though he sits here and eulogizes the government and says that, but it's not all that rosy. There are more communities in Kweu, that's Kweu South, that desire to be connected to the national grid than he's saying. When you get to Asaka and get to Esikim, all the way to Ankuma, all the villages there, they don't have electricity.
It is not true.
Oh, well, let me finish. That's true. Your constituency.
It is not my constituency.
Oh, you see, but you share bounds with other constituencies.
I mean,
can I finish?
I think let's focus.
I was very quiet when you spoke. I was very quiet. And he was very eloquent about the fact that government.
I love this new poster.
Okay.
So
Let's go. He was very eloquent about the fact that government will give them 100%. But I'm a groundsman. I'm a Ghanaian. And by sheer providence, I know every Kweu town. Every Kweu town.
So
I know every Kweu
wife.
Sorry?
I need to get you a Kweu wife.
You may get me a Kweu wife. My wife may not be happy, but I know every Kweu town. When you get to Asaka and you get to how do you call it? Before Tafo, you get to Esikim. All the market towns to Oframase, Orubon, all the way to Ankuma, all the way to Begro to Kofodia.
I think
are they connected or they are not?
They are connected.
Yeah.
They are connected.
But they are rough roads.
Yeah.
They are rough roads, but there are electricity. We don't have electricity on that stretch.
Really?
Yes. When you get to Intesu.
Well, I'm surprised.
Hold on.
It's like no, please.
Hold on.
Please,
Can I finish? Can I finish?
I won't let you finish on this.
Let me finish, then you can come.
I think that we are on national television.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's important that you state facts.
Exactly.
So most of the communities that is mentioned.
Yes.
For instance, in Teso, that's where my father comes from. I mean, they have electricity. I was just there.
I
was there
didn't
last
say
week.
in Teso didn't have electricity. That's not what I said.
Ankuma, he mentions Ankuma. Ankuma
Yes.
has electricity.
Okay.
Yes.
It mentions Orobon. Orobon has electricity.
So the issue with
it mentions Tafu, Bukua, all of that
yeah,
are connected to the
issue with
national.
the electricity
Those are major
yeah,
as a member of parliament. I'm saying that
as a member of parliament, I've done an assessment in my constituency,
Yeah.
and I realized that there are 24 communities in my constituency that do not have light.
Okay, so I know,
not sit here.
I know that the issue of roads is important, so I really want us to get to it. But I think the point we're trying to make is that 270 on the national grid and 487 need to be put on the national grid.
Finish.
So
Doc, let me paint the picture for you.
So we only have 10 minutes left. So I just wanted to, I'm going to ask the question and you include it in your presentation.
You see,
so we have where the president mentioned that he has covered more than 10,000 kilometers in 5 years. And I want you to, yes, I do, because it is still a national grid.
885.
So what I want to find out, because the minority, you've been challenging that claim very, very much. So I want to know why this is such a big issue. I know in the beginning you mentioned some of the areas and communities that didn't have any road connection. What in that assertion? Yes.
Doc, I'm a Ghanaian. I know every nook and cranny of this country. And I can sit here and give you regional names of places, towns in every single region. I know the geography of this country.
You have done well. I mean, let's move on.
No, exactly. So when the president says that he has constructed 10,885, he was that. It is the exactitude.
875.
No. He didn't say 7. He said
10,875 kilometers.
Go back, OPK. Go back and listen to your old man. He says 10,885. He said 10,885.
Okay, so
it is the exactitude that scandalizes me. That technocrats can provide the president with this exactitude. Doc, let's divide this number by the number of regions we have. Let's say 16 regions. So we may have every region to have about 800 kilometers of roads. 800 kilometers. Let's give every region 800 kilometers. Let's even say that every region has 700 kilometers of roads. Do you know what that means? Do you know the road from Aflau to Elubo is 520 kilometers? Between Aflau to Elubo is 520 kilometers. So when you speak of a road that is about 600 kilometers, you are speaking of kilometers that will go beyond regions. In my home region, which is the Volta region, I know all the arterial roads. No major road, no major work is happening apart from on the Eastern Corridor, which is my constituency, so I'm very grateful. Oti, no major construction is happening apart from Howai to Jasikai. When you get to the northern region, I may not be a son, but I have fair knowledge of the geography of the northern region.
Including Tamale.
Tamale is the heart of the northern region. From Tamale to Boga, that's 2 hours. And then there's the Wale Wale to Narerugu to Gambaga stretch. All the way through to Timpani to Garu. When you get there, you can go to Pusiga. From Pusiga, you can go on the Pumankuman road.
So are those roads constructed or
they've not been done? That's the point.
All right. Okay.
They've not been done.
Right.
Okay, so I can give you
a geographical map of this country.
Some 10,875 kilometers of new roads have been constructed.
It's not been done. Let me be comfortable with the Volta region. There's no new road in the Volta region that has been done. Out of the 10,885.
875.
No,
these are his remarks.
No, hold on.
It says 875.
My dear, listen to him.
No.
It is 8.
875. No, it's okay.
Doc,
You
it
have
is not
you have what you
875.
said.
It
I
is
have the document
885.
in front of me.
Listen to him.
875. No.
Somebody transcribed and wrote 875. It is incorrect. The man said 885.
Granted,
I was in Parliament.
granted.
I listened to him.
Granted. Let's move on.
He said 10885.
All right.
So somebody transcribing half of the 10 kilometers. So it is 885, not 875.
So your contention now is the 10 kilometers.
Unfortunately,
It's not even about the 10.
I have
Alright,
to go
so
to him in a few minutes because
Yes,
we
you
have
have to
wrap
go
up
to
1
him, but
minute
I'm saying that
I think the president was very clear.
Oh, why?
The president was very clear.
You know, let me finish.
The president indicated that as a government, I mean, for the 5 years that is being at the presidency, he's seen close to about 10,785 roads being constructed.
The man said 885.
The president now went further to say that these roads, they've been built, improved, and upgraded. In fact, if you were to talk to somebody who is in the road industry,
Doc, the man said new
He will
roads.
say-
Can
he
you
will tell
hold my
you-
brother to speaking to new
he will
roads?
tell you that
instead of
in roads
saying
construction,
that
in roads construction,
new roads were done.
there's what they call the paved and unpaved
Oh,
roads.
please.
In fact, at the district assembly levels, most of the activities are centered on the unpaved. So you realize that you've been asked to do an upgrading of the road.
You have brought a document
roads
to
are
Parliament that says
immotorable.
that
All right.
even
So-
potholes,
And what I'm going to do now,
even ceiling
what
or
I'm going to do
potholes.
now is just read viewer messages, just to. Good evening. I am Mabi at Bampong. Politics is killing Ghana. Stop comparing MPP and NDC and help Ghana. The second one is good morning, good evening. Please tell the MPP man we would like to know the number of youth that have been employed in the automotive industry. Another one says, when will the SHS1 go to school? Some of these viewers we may not have answers to, but we do want to read your questions. Honorable Roxanne should kindly stick to the question, and because it's making the discussion a bit lengthy. This is from Echo in Cape Coast. With the mind of the leaders refusing to reason well, is the citizens that suffer if the leader doesn't have the interests of the citizenry at heart. Good evening. I think the MP for South Dai actually made the analysis on Agric very clear. He clearly said 12 months down the line, fertilizer was 80 Ghana cedis in 2021. And he was happy with it, meaning President Anado was doing very well until this Ukraine war stepped in. Yes, the dollar has gained grounds and shortages. So then this is from a gentleman called Professor Ben. And this is from, there's no name, Mike Gabriel. He says that Akufo-Addo is not doing the right thing with Ghanaians. And he believes that it should be looked at carefully. This is Honorable Davis Opoku has spoken well. For the first time, the people of Fodua at Prioso have seen first-class roads, and the government is doing a lot of developmental projects in Kwewu. This is from Frimpong Emmanuel Otri. He's Kwehuman Scholars in Trendodrase, Kwehu. I have to apologize for some of my pronunciations. And then, yes. And then one, let me just finish. Kwehu Tafo or to Bukuruwa Road is under construction. It says Kwehu Tafo to, yes. And then the second one is Kwehu Tafo to in Teso through Bagoroso is also under construction.
No, that's Tafo in Teso.
Okay, and then good evening. My name is Kwabna from the Kwewu Bipong. Please tell OPK that there is no single tiled road at Bipong, so he should kindly do something about that. And finally, greetings to you, Honorable OPK and Honorable Dafemioko from Honorable Dafo in Trinidrase.
Trinrase.
Trinrase.
The name is Trinrase.
Trinrase. Yes.
If you want to pronounce it the way you see it,
So unfortunately, we just have 1 minute for each person, so that we have to wrap up. Yes.
So then this is my colleagues' inability to appreciate what the president said. It's quite worrying. What the president said was that both the paved and unpaved roads, and when we say paved, these are roads that have seen has been tarred. Unpaved roads are roads that have seen upgradement and all of that.
We have done 10,785 kilometers of that.
Okay.
In fact,
So you have,
in fact, the facts from the ministry has said that as at 2017, when the MPP government took over, roads constructed, the road network in our country was 78,402 kilometers. Presently, as we speak, roads constructed, upgraded, both paved and unpaved, is 94,203 kilometers.
okay, we have to end
So
it
clearly,
there. Just 1 minute for you and then we are done.
Doc,
So we are running out of time.
So by OPK's analysis, 78 as compared to 94.
94, yes.
So it means they have even done more than the 10,000 the president speaks of.
No, no.
Why?
Okay.
94,
78 to 94.
94,000.
Oh, OPK, wait.
94,000.
OPK,
So
78,000.
here we are.
I think the president,
Maybe the time
president
is
must
up.
recommend it.
can
I'd
I
like to
finish?
thank all
The
of you
assurance we
for
are giving
joining
to
us
the
for
nation.
Can I
tonight's Talking
finish?
Points. A very special thank you to
From
my guest,
78 to 94,
Honorable
that's
Roxin
20
Nelson, the
20,000.
family Ekpo. He's the MP for South Deyi, and Honorable Davis Ansa Opoku, the MP for Empire. So I'm Dr. Nim, and this has been Talking Points. Thank you so much for sharing your Sunday with us. Good night, good luck, and please be and take care. Till next week.